So this trans woman concealed the fact that she was a dude from another dude. She did sex stuff with that dude while dude thought that she was a woman.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us today. And I have Tori in the house. Hi, beautiful lady.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me back on.
Awesome. How could I not? First off, everybody loves you, so there's that. But also, I just think it's very powerful to have these really important conversations with a trans woman who has a really solid head on her shoulders.
Thank
Seriously.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I like to think the same thing, but well,
Yeah. I
people will
mean,
obviously argue with that, obviously, but
oh, they only do that because they just have nothing else to do. You know,
quite
you and I,
literally.
yeah, we know that on the internet is a complete toxic wasteland. So doesn't really matter. We're going to continue to have these conversations. In fact, hey, everybody, before I move forward with this, I just want to let you know that Tori and I have been discussing creating a live together, maybe either once a week or every other week. So let us know in the comments what you think about that. And then we can start making her a regular on the show. And just you guys can send us in questions and we could just make a really cool sort of ask us whatever you want, or, you know, other things that you want us to talk about. So that would be really cool. So with that, let's move forward. Today we're going to talk about disclosure, and disclosure meaning disclosure in the trans community. So one of the reasons I brought Tori on today is because it's more about trans women than trans men, I think. And so what I mean by that is disclosing you are trans when you date somebody. So, right. Let's before we get into this, let's what do you think about that, Tori?
It's so interesting because there are two like main camps about it. There are people that are like, you have to disclose right away, like for your safety and
Yeah.
for just the being not deceitful to
Yeah.
the gentleman up close, or not up close but in person. And then they're the complete opposite side where they're like, no, like you don't have to disclose anything. Like you're supposed to be the fishiest woman ever. Like you're not a man, you're a woman. Like
Uh,
you don't have to tell him that. It's not he doesn't need to know. Like, and I obviously find myself in the first camp because I value not being deceitful. I value my safety when
mhm.
I go and meet up with a gentleman that I'm talking to. Like
Mhm.
I flipped, having the whole situation flipped, I would absolutely be devastated if someone didn't disclose to me that they were trans or something like that. Like
Mhm.
that's because it's not my preference. And people were like, "Oh, that's transphobia. That's transphobia." No, no, no.
No,
It's not transphobia to have a preference, and people need to
it's
understand
not.
that. Like people that are not trans need to understand that these people that are saying, "Oh, it's not transphobic to date a trans person," like it's not. It's not a bad thing. You
It's
do not
not.
have to. No one's telling you you have to.
That's right. And it's one of the reasons, again, that I love you so much, because you're so on board with that's ethical, morals, all of it. And honestly, it really does come down to you. And I really do, in my opinion, I believe that trans women or even trans men who not disclose that they are transsexual or transgender have an issue with themselves, because
It
it
has to
just
be.
it has to be. Because why wouldn't you disclose? You know, I have dated or had, you know, relationships, not relationship, more like, I guess, intimacy with men, and they didn't know. I just look like a dude, right? But I don't have a penis. And like, wow, that's really gross. If I were to go in that situation, they're expecting me to have a big one. You know that. I have.
Right, and then that's a preference, and you're not the preference.
That's
And
right. That's right.
especially nowadays with this whole culture of these super feminine, hyper feminine trans women
Yes.
that don't tell men and try to like hook straight men essentially. Um, with men that are sexually confused and not comfortable with themselves as well, that
Yes.
creates
Yes.
an absolutely dangerous situation, which
Yes.
is why we have all of these trans women getting murdered
Oh,
where in all the
horrifying.
big cities and stuff, is because
Horrifying.
these men are not comfortable with themselves and they don't
Yes.
want to be found out that they're sleeping with a trans woman who's actually Like,
Thank you. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of that. To me, it's transphobic not to say it. It means that you're fearful of yourself or fearful of someone finding out. What are you so fearful of if trans is okay? And you know what I mean? So
yeah,
they're very, there's a lot of hypocrisy. And I've been talking about disclosure for many, 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 many years. I believe in it when it comes to sexual STDs or things you have. You better tell somebody you have gonorrhea or herpes or HIV. You better say it before you get into a situation. That is actually disgusting not to say, and giving the other person an opportunity. Now, let's get into this because this was big in the news recently. And it's this woman, this trans woman in the UK. It says trans woman who concealed gender before performing sex act on man is found guilty of sexual assault. What do you do you think that on some level that's a sexual assault case? when when they're having sex, they show up, they're a woman, supposedly a woman, so they're
allegedly.
expecting a woman, and this happens, and then the man gets pissed off and claims on some level it can be sexual assault, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's deception at the heart of it. Like right off the bat,
Totally.
it's deception.
Totally. That's great deception. So a transgender woman who concealed her gender before performing a sex act on a man has been found guilty of sexual assault. Sierra, 21, of Stockton on Tees, I guess the UK, right, was found guilty of multiple charges, multiple, relating to sex acts she performed on a 21-year-old man. And he's young, he's 21. So he's already, what you said earlier, maybe dealing with his sexuality and not understanding. The sexual assault charges were brought on at Teesside Crown Court today after Watkin failed to disclose her transgender status to a man, which meant he could not have given informed consent. Bam, there it
Like,
is.
it's not something that is real DL anymore. Like people know that men like trans women.
Yes.
They're not necessarily just all straight, clearly.
Yeah, I don't think it's straight men who are into straight and like 100% who are into trans women. These men are attracted to trans women because there is a different energy. There's just a different thing going on there. And one day I would love to have this conversation without anybody getting insulted or on both sides of the coin because
Right.
it
I've been
really
told it. I've been told it by men
that's
that
right.
are into me
That's right.
and into women.
Yes.
Like they specifically have said there's just something about not necessarily it being a biological female
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
and I don't know how to describe it either because I don't think that way,
Yeah.
but they're
That's right.
telling me that they're like it's just a different energy and it's
It's
I
true.
don't know.
It's true. I know a lot. I will say it, not here today, but I can tell you, I can explain it to you because I've been
Yeah.
around it. So I can explain it to you. So I want to start, Paul. I have some TikToks here that I found that I kind of, I put in there
Yeah.
in the search. I put, should a trans woman disclose being trans? Okay. And these are the three that I thought would be very good for you and I to have a discussion about. So here, let me do this first one here.
When is the appropriate time for a trans person to tell somebody that they are seeing or who they intend to start seeing that they are trans? Well, that's completely up to the trans person. When they decide to divulge this very personal, very intimate, private information to anyone is completely up to them. And I'll tell you why. When a trans person comes out as trans, worst case scenario, they are murdered for being trans. If a trans person doesn't tell you that they are trans as early as you would have liked them to, worst case scenario, your feelings get hurt and the relationship ends. Their safety trumps your feelings 100% of the time. In the same way, I wouldn't expect a woman to divulge her body count to a man until she felt safe and comfortable doing so, because some men really couldn't care less. Some men will have a limit, like 2 or 3 is fine, but any more than 5 and you're a slut. And then there are some men who expect you to be a virgin, and if you've ever had sex before, they take that to mean that it's okay for them to rape
Okay,
you.
I'm going to pause right there. That person just said a lot.
I know. I was like, okay, let's go back. She mentioned safety. Yeah, that safety should be your primary thing. In saying that, that's why you disclose. It's not when the trans person decides. It's no. If your primary goal is safety, then you disclose. It's a
That's right.
formula.
I know, she put it backwards. It's backwards what she said. She said basically trans women will get murdered if they disclose. That's not true. They will get murdered if you don't disclose before you get into an intimate... Look, if you just meet a dude at a coffee shop and then you're like, hey, buddy, you know what? I just want to let you know that I can feel like it's going this way. I'm a trans woman. You're not going to get murdered. You're going to be like, either the dude's going to go, up, totally not my thing, or right on, let's go. So you see how they're gaslighting this whole thing? They're making it so trans women don't feel empowered enough to say I'm a trans woman, if that makes sense. Yeah. So
exactly, and that's my experience. My experience. Right every guy that I've been with is that they are. I disclose to them, and majority of the time, the response is, "I appreciate you telling me. You're very beautiful. You're gorgeous, and I hope you find someone that deserves you." It's not my thing. It's always been that positive, kind response. I mean, that's amazing. That's because I know that's not the narrative, but that's what happens when you disclose right off the bat.
That's right. So you have lived experience in it, and right there, everyone, Tori's just showing to you. It's happened to me too. I'm like, dude, just want to let you know I'm not a dude, and blah blah blah. You know, maybe some guys were into it and others weren't, but we became totally friends afterward, and it wasn't a bad situation. I really have a hard time with this narrative these people create, and that says that if you do it, you know, you're going to get murdered, and it's up to every it's different for every trans person. It should not be different for every trans person. It should literally be the stamp of when you're going to have intimacy with a person. It should be literally part of being trans, that you should tell everyone you're trans if you're having intimacy.
And I love that you said that, because I want to share a little bit about when I had, and everybody knows now, I have I had bottom surgery.
Yeah.
I still will disclose. I am still going to disclose, because I know a neovagina is not a vagina, not a designer vagina. It is not a vagina. It is what, again, the closest thing that we can recreate from male sex organs. Like, it's just, that is the truth of it. Right. We need to stop lying about these things. Like, that is it. So with that being said, my dad was having this conversation with me now, because we have that, thankfully, we have that relationship where we can actually discuss as adults these things, because I mean, he wants me to find love. He wants me to have a family, and I love him for that. And I want that too, but I'm real about it. Whereas he's like, well, now you don't have to, you can just live your life as a woman. Like, why would you tell? Why would you tell another guy now at this point? Because before, that was the big thing, is you couldn't do anything.
That's right.
Because you were dysphoric about it or whatever. And I'm just like, no, like, I get it. I get why you are thinking that way, and you say that, and I appreciate you're coming from a place of love as my father with that. But I'm still going to disclose, because, and that's what I explained to him, what kind of relationship is built off of deception at the onset? What kind of relationship is built off of holding this huge part of what it is to be female, and how they're able to be childbearing, able to have things that I will never possess as a biological male, and not be able to have that and share that with a partner. Like, that's it. I won't be able to do that. It's not fair for him to not know that going in. And if I truly care and love this person and want to build something with this person, I have to be honest up front about all the things that I can do and all the things that I can't do.
The serenity prayer. The serenity prayer basically says you can change the things that you can, and you can't change the things you cannot, right? God has granted me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, and the courage to change. It's just a thing. You can't change your biology, and why would you lie to somebody about it who you have full on love for, right? My partner knows every bad thing about me, every good thing about me, things I did in the past, all of it, because they should know. They should know everything about you. And so if you're starting, what you just said, if you're starting off a relationship on a deceitful space, you are not going to last. And that person will find out later on and hold it against you. And you also didn't give them the opportunity to make the choice for themselves.
Right. And then,
Yes.
but you're building it on deception, and then you
Yes.
holding this secret.
Yes.
You're holding the secret that is only going to get heavier and heavier as you introduce
Genius.
family members, as you get
Yes.
more involved with them.
Yes.
Like, why would you want to do that to you and to your partner? I don't understand. That sounds almost as bad as carrying around gender dysphoria
Yeah.
and not being able to do anything about it.
Great point.
Like, and the
Good
fact
point.
that you think you can just be all cute and be like, oh, he's not going to ever do that to me. You don't know. You don't know this guy. Again,
That's right.
safety has to be priority, and we're
That's
not
right.
doing that by being deceptive right off the bat. You are setting yourself up for danger.
You just, now I'm going to segue. I have some other TikToks, but I have this one that I found on, because this is so great what you just said. You don't know this guy. You don't know if he's angry, full of testosterone, just super like having that edgy man shit, right? So I found this one.
Which could be attractive to some.
Oh my God,
like
of course. 100% hypermasculinity. But I found this. Hold on. Let me bring this up. Watch.
As sweet and innocent as he looked, he had that side. It took 4 officers to calm him down.
Watch.
Carlton Champion Jr. killed Ty Underwood because he was afraid the secret was going to come out. That if this relationship went south, everyone was going to find out that he's in a relationship with a transgender woman, and he could not take that thought.
There you go. See that? You just totally nailed it right on the head. Right there. He killed her.
There it is. I mean, sadly,
it's horrifying.
Just horrendous that this is happening, and we are enabling it. We are 100% enabling it.
That's right. That's right. He didn't want to tell anybody he was dating a trans woman. She's a totally looks like a chick, like no one, like you. Nobody would ever know. But somehow people found out about it, and he's just this macho dude who could not, football player dude, like, if somebody finds out, you know, so instead of like whatever dealing with his emotions, he kills her so that nobody finds out, like burns the car up, like just the most insane. His temper just went off the deep end. But so that's why I segued into that.
Know.
You never know.
Because exactly what I'm assuming it's a sister or cousin or whatever said at the beginning is, like, he seemed like the sweetest guy. Yeah. That's right. That's a thing. Bipolar disorder can be another part of that. You never know what makes up this person that you were going to go meet. So why on earth, if you're talking about putting your safety first, are you like, oh, I don't have to disclose. He doesn't need to know.
How is that putting your safety first? That's what I'm saying. That TikToker, what a bunch of bullshit. This one right here is so insane. Literally saying this.
And FYI, just because you personally wouldn't assault a trans person doesn't mean that nobody would.
Right.
Even in my comment section, I've had people leave messages like, if I found out that I was on a date with a guy pretending to be a girl, I'd beat the shit out of him. So yeah, the risk is very real. So most people nowadays use dating apps to talk and get to know people before you meet up for the first time. So why don't trans people just put that on their profile so that everybody knows up front? Well, some people are very loud and proud about being trans, and that's great for them. But some people maybe don't want the whole world to know. Maybe they only trust people that they are very close to with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Then don't go on a dating app. You know, don't go on a dating app. If you can't be honest about and disclose your status, you should not be on a dating app.
Right. And for the sake of not sounding like a hypocrite here, for the sake of not, I've done both.
Sure.
Because I've been exploring what it's like.
Great.
What I perceive it's like to date as a woman in her 20s. Like,
okay. That's fair.
That's how I've done both. And I understand why people do disclose, and I understand why people don't disclose. That doesn't mean I think one is like, or they're both okay. One is clearly the right option. But
even if you go on as Tori, the woman, and then you meet the dude, you just said it earlier, you would not keep leading them on. You would immediately disclose that you were a trans. Would you not disclose you were a trans woman?
No, exactly. And that's what I'm really getting to, is that even if I didn't disclose right away, if there was ever us planning to meet up, I would disclose then.
That's different. That's total. I get what you're saying there. I'll be honest with you. I always disclose. I just felt more comfortable with it, and also I've always been really okay with myself being a man without a penis, right? And so it just like I've been very lucky in that space. But this person is just saying so many insane things, and I think why the trans community is so weird now about like
100%
dating.
because they all have that mindset. They all have that mindset. But
Yes.
what I am saying is I still disclose when I'm going to meet in person, but I've done both as putting it on my
Great.
profile.
Okay.
When I put it on
Okay.
my profile, I attract not great attention.
Oh, I
That is the
see.
double-edged sword.
I
When you put it
see.
right on your profile,
Yes.
you are not seen as transsexuals want to be seen, because
I see.
transsexuals want to be seen
As a
and
woman.
socialize and
Yes.
just live as a woman, as a
Got
woman.
it. Got it. You're
But
right.
when you
You're
put
right.
that on there, you're immediately fetishized. Immediately
100%.
fetishized. You're
Yeah.
Yeah. And some
Yep.
women and some trans women like that, and I get it, but not all of us do.
No, you want to
And
date. You want to have a relationship. They need to make an app that really deals with trans women wanting to date, not having sex, but I think you're right. It's just going to attract that same male mentality where they just want to get their
yeah.
fantasy off, right?
So
They're
that's
not
why I said
thinking of you.
I've done both. I put
Yeah.
I've been upfront on the bio, and then I get
I get it.
terrible attention,
Yeah.
the wrong attention. I
Yeah.
take it off, I get fantastic attention,
Yeah.
have great conversations. But here's the second part, Buck, because I've already started that off on deception, which is why I'm speaking all from lived experience
Yes.
and what I've experienced and what I've done essentially
Yeah.
to men.
Yeah.
Starting that off with deception. I
Yeah.
talked to this guy for 6 to 7 months. We would play video games together. It was so cute. I was being courted. We talk on the phone every
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
It was so adorable. I
Yeah.
was so intoxicated by it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't like, oh, it's love. I don't think it's love. I think it's puppy love. I think it was being able to feel what that felt like and
Sure.
just being enchanted by that. But he wanted to meet up for a 4th of July date thing, and I obviously wanted to do it, but he still had no idea.
Mm.
He had no idea. I never talked about it. I didn't disclose it at all. And you know what? It ended up hurting me more in the end, because I cried. I bawled writing the letter that I had to send to him, because I couldn't do it over the phone. I had to write a physical letter to share that with him. Be like, I still have it. Like I'm not going to get rid of it, because it reminds me why you need to do that. You need to disclose, because if you don't, you're risking your safety, and you could end up hurting yourself if you really fall for this guy.
That's right.
Really hurting yourself. So it's almost self-inflicting damage as well.
Well, right. We're not talking about emotions. We're only talking about physical stuff here. But you're right. That's very powerful, because when you fall in love with somebody, we've all broken up. It's horrible. Like, breakups can be very devastating. So on some level, you're breaking up with somebody who you put all that emotional time in. And I really hope people can hear this out there, especially in the trans community, that why it is important to start off on that foot of disclosure, because you're not going to get your heart involved, and then your heart got broken. And I bet that letter is so profound and really deep, because you sort of put yourself in a position, not your fault, because I get it. It's hard for us as transsexual people to sort of, to date. I do, and I will say it always, I do think it's a much harder space for trans women than trans men. Women don't seem to be as judgmental about us being, because mostly I date women or have relationships with women, and I do think women seem to be a little bit more open-minded, less judgmental about it, and more open to saying my partner is a trans man. Right? It does. It's a thing.
So. I think so, but again, that's something only biological females possess.
Yes.
Biological males can think they have an idea or a semblance of what that's like.
Yes.
But have no actual idea. Because why? The energies are different.
There you go.
The energies are
Again,
different. And
comes back to energy and all of that stuff. And men are also taught these really horrible bad behaviors. And there's a lot of the homophobia in the space, and they would consider it homosexual if a man dates a trans woman. It is considered homosexual. And so this is where there's the really nuanced gray space there, right? Because you are still biologically male, but you present as a hot chick. And I can literally understand why dudes would fall all over you. But the fact being is you still are biologically male. And that's where this nuance space to try to get people to say, if a straight man is attracted to you, it's not a bad thing. And it doesn't make him a bad person or even homo. Because that's what they're more worried about, being labeled as a homosexual than anything, right?
So this whole thing of disclosure really comes back to it being homophobia.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Bam.
Like, of it
Absolutely.
all.
Absolutely.
And internalized homophobia or internalized transphobia, because you can't accept yourself as a trans person.
Yes.
You can't disclose that to a partner.
That's right.
I mean, what does that say about you? It's like, yeah, you want to be the fishiest passing woman. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But you can still do that and stand on truth, stand on business. But we don't do that. We don't do that in this community.
Well, the thing is that now you keep getting great segues for me. Thank you so much. It's why you're such a great partner in this. I want to bring this up because this person, watch, this is a very important next person I'm going to bring up.
I get asked all the time if I tell guys that I'm trans. I'm gonna give you all of the tea and tell you exactly what I do so you can get your man girl. So I'm a post-op trans woman, meaning I have a vagina. So for me, this is what I do. It's a bit different, I feel, if you haven't had the surgery. I like to have a first date where they don't know I'm trans, whether I've met them on an app or out or wherever. So then I get to introduce myself as me. And like, if the guy's never met a trans person before, then like they're going into it just with a woman, which is who I am. And that's how I want them to see me at first, not as a trans woman, if that makes sense. Then if he's cute, the conversation's flowing, it's going really well, and I want to see him again, I will wait until he says that he wants to see me again. That's when I'll pick up the phone and call him. Yes, I said call, and it's absolutely terrifying. And I will tell him that I'm trans over the phone. And I think saying it over the phone, although I'm literally shaking and I'm terrified, it just goes to show them that like, I'm not scared of who I am. This is me, take it or leave it. I found that guys are generally nice if you're reasonable with them, and I find that this is a pretty reasonable thing to do. And yeah, I've never had a bad experience. Be safe out there, girlies.
Well, thank God for her. And she reminded me of you. When I found her, I was like, oh my God, she's literally Tori. She's literally, yeah, because again, okay, I don't really know. I can be, because I'm not you or a trans woman. The first date, is it deceitful to go on a first date with somebody without them knowing you're trans? I'm not really sure, because there's no intimacy. It's the intimacy part that I have issues with, right?
Right. And I get that. But I mean, perhaps that's me just being extra paranoid of like being afraid to go in person in general if they don't know. Just because I don't know. I don't know if
that's right.
You get outed by someone,
that's
or
right.
if something turns into something else. Like, you just never know. So I get what she's saying, and I love what she does, and support what she does there.
Well, she's a true doll like you. She's an actual. Sorry, what?
I said maybe she just has more balls than I do.
Right on. No, I don't think it is. I think again, it's really coming to the disclosure thing and the way you need to do it, and that's sort of how because she wants to be seen. So she wants to be seen as a woman, but she's not a woman. That's the thing where that's a little bit iffy, because then you have to disclose you're trans. So why not just do it from the get-go? That way, there's no bullshit. Like, you totally know whether this dude is on or not, right? So in some way, it is a little bit leading on, because you guys, both of you look like full-on women. No way would anyone ever know. And then all of a sudden, you're saying this thing like, you know, I have herpes and gonorrhea and HIV. And you're like, but wait, not to say it's the same thing, but you know what I mean? To say like I have all these things. Do you still want to date me? Kind of.
Right. It's an extreme example, but yeah.
It is. It's just me being a dick.
Right.
Somebody's gonna say something. You watch, because so I just thought that was very interesting. Now let me bring up this. So this guy is kind of a big deal on the internet. I actually like watching his stuff. Now, what I want to show you him is because he's representing a straight male space. Okay, his guy's super like male, but I love his brain. I think he's really right on. I think he says shit like how I do, straight in your face, and I just love this. And I think he's super trans friendly because he had Blair on his channel, so he's not a transphobe. And so even though everyone's going to say he is,
people are.
They're not. They love us. Like, they don't like those people who are completely insane and digging themselves into a transphobic hole. So
they like bootlickers.
Totally.
And the grifters.
They like us. They like us transphobes.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
This guy's commenting on the original article I posted here of that trans woman getting arrested for sexual assault. So I want you to hear what he has to say.
So this trans woman concealed the fact that she was a dude from another dude. She did sex stuff with that dude while dude thought that she was a woman, and now she's just been convicted of sexual assault for it. And I am just so confused right now as to how anybody got confused into thinking that this was a real woman. But the reality is that if you do that to somebody, the charge is legit. It's like by deception. So I guess the moral of the story here is if you were born with a hog, but you dress like you weren't born with a hog, and you want to throat some other dude's hog, you gotta tell him that you was born with a hog before you do your throatings. I feel like any decent human being would have known that in the first place, but what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments.
See,
I adore him.
I know, he's great. He's so good. Throat the hog. I'm just like,
trying not to laugh at his own.
I mean, he just said it. And listen, people, he just said it as a straight dude who's like, I think he was in prison and stuff. Like, he's hardcore, but he's so great. And then he's just like, you can't do that. That is it is rape and deception on some level.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it's not consensual, it isn't consensual when you're both parties are like understanding. Isn't that what consent is? Isn't that what the idea of consent is? When there's a full understanding of what the two parties are
participating in.
I guarantee you people will see what he said there. Obviously, in the crassness will be transphobia.
That's right.
Also, calling that individual a trans woman, I think, is transphobic. But that's beside the point. And then they'll say he's transphobic for saying if you want to be a dude and wear a dress. It's like, because that's always the thing.
Yeah,
as
totally.
a dude in a dress right now.
Yeah. Yeah, totally right on. I love you. Awesome. That's why you're so awesome. You just get it. Let's make fun of ourselves. Like, what? Who cares? Like, I'm a chick with a beard. Like, whatever. It's so dumb.
And that's the real thing, is because we're not insecure about
that.
Like,
that's right.
Sure, call me what you. I mean, I get called. We get called every day in social media. It's like, okay,
Every
and
day. I'm done with it.
Off.
I'm so done with it. Like, who cares? Call me on. I block people now. I'm not wasting my time now. Now with the new baby in the house and my life has changed so for the better. I just realized, what am I doing? Why am I wasting my time with these people? I have a baby to take care of who I need to give into the world and make this person a badass. And I can't be wasting my time. You're not a dad, or you're transphobic because you said X, Y, and Z to so-and-so. And I'm just like, what? Oh my God, I post a picture of me with my new baby and people are like, you're a transphobe. I'm like, I just posted with my baby. You people are nuts.
They are. They're so hung up. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
Nothing. That's why these conversations, and I really know people see us, Tori, as really adult people, that we are very, very focused on getting the message out there that we improved our lives by doing this, okay? But we're not forcing you to it. It doesn't matter if you say she to me. It actually doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not taking it personally. It's your space that you need to deal with. But that being said, that's why I think conversations between sane transsexual people is like really the way that we are going to save any aspect of transitioning for adults. I really do believe that.
Yeah. And we got to start acknowledging biology and standing in
Yes.
truth. I mean, that has to be
Yes.
truth is not going to waver.
Okay. Thanks. Love you so much, Tori. Thanks for joining us
Love you.
today. Thanks for this. Okay. So I'll see you guys all in the next one. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. The channel's growing. Thank you. I can't do it without you guys so much. And see you guys Wednesdays on the live and blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to make an awesome thing with Tori and I. So hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave comments. We'd love to know what you think about what we talked about today. Okay. So I'll see you guys all in the next video.